everyone, it's Libby from Maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies, entertainment only. Okay, I am going to stay up in the positive today because I really felt like with last night my time, lunar eclipse, the energies on the weekend really intensified for the better. There's a big shift. There's a big shift that has occurred. We may not see it just yet, but the energies just feel incredibly positive. That being said, I'm going to have a look at a lot of little topics in this reading. I'll just run through a whole mixed bag of things that people have asked me about. Yeah, disappointment in the harvest and walking away. What have we got? A 7 and an 8. There is this shift and lunar eclipse card. So disappointment in what people are seeing, but this is also on behalf of the oligarchs or those behind the current regime in the US and those behind Farage, etc. They're starting to see a disappointment in being able to harvest divisiveness is what I'm getting, because what's happening is people are not being divisive anymore. So let's have a look. I was watching the news last night in Australia, and they had on the pro-Palestinian, in other words, the end the genocide protest happening in London, really struggling to find out numbers of how many people were included in the rally. The only number I could find was 1,500, and I'm like, surely there were more than 1,500. I would probably put an extra zero on the end looking at the footage. 900 were arrested, and I was watching it with my husband, and the only thought that popped into my head was, by arresting around 900, including Holocaust survivors, veterans, priests, elderly people, arresting these people, what's happened is I feel that next weekend it's going to be even bigger. In Australia, we have had these rallies demanding that our government not support the Netanyahu government, and they have been in the tens and hundreds of thousands across the country. So, with this Emperor energy, we have secrets are being revealed and the rise of the feminine. So as I split the deck, what I'm really feeling is that by the police being ordered to make all these arrests, they are going to unleash the unity beast. Let me just put it that way. What's happening is the divisiveness is falling by the wayside, and we are realizing that we have more in common than the one topic that the Farages and the Millers, etc., are trying to bash down our throats. So, first question off the rank. Dave from Tarot by the Bay. I did watch his reading, really interesting reading about whether the Orange Twerp will actually go visit the UK. He is busting to. And when's that happening? The 17th of September. It feels like this is, if he does nothing else, and this is the last thing he ever does, he is busting to visit the UK. Now, I believe from what I've read, now I can't even remember where I read this, that Prince William has drawn the short straw in regards to that. I believe Charles is, because of his health treatment, the baton has been passed to William. Now, when Queen Elizabeth passed away and just before Charles's coronation, I read on that and got quite clearly that he would abdicate I don't think he's going to pass away as king. I think he's going to abdicate over to William within the 5 years. What are we now? 2 and a bit years in. So William will step up into the kingly position. But I also, when I read at the time, I got it's going to be more like the Danish monarchy, which is more down to earth. I mean, there's still the pomp and ceremony, but not to the extent that the current British monarchy is. That it's going to be a more subdued, more for the people, with the people type monarchy. And more into the symbolic. Now, a lot of, a number of people go, oh my goodness, the monarchy cost the British people a fortune, except putting it in perspective as well, the monarchy also brings a lot of money into the UK through tourism, etc. But, times are a bit tough, and I do see this shift happening to a more, a less expensive, more subdued type of monarchy. However, from what I understand, William has drawn the short straw, which means that if the Orange Twerp does make it to the UK, he's not going to get the king, he's going to get the prince. Also remembering when the Twerp went there the first time, talk about making an absolute fool of himself, walking in front of the Queen, touching the Queen. One does not touch the Queen, one does not walk in front of the Queen. However, she was incredibly dignified about it, but if you think back, remember that she wore quite a prominent brooch during, I think it was the, what do they call it when you walk up and down the ranks of the military, inspecting the guard. She wore quite a prominent brooch which had been given to her by the Obamas. So she was very astute in telegraphing her thoughts through her clothing and through just subtle things like the brooch. And you've also got to remember the Obamas, I believe, actually stayed at a royal residence. Not for the Orange Twerp. Okay, so he was quite shunned by the Queen, even though it wasn't telegraphed publicly as such, but it was there. It was there in the undercurrents. So this time around, I believe he's getting the prince, not the king, if he goes. So let's have a look. I'm just going to ask very quickly, is the Orange Twerp going to actually make it to the UK? Is he going to go, what are we looking at, fortnight from now, the 17th of September? Oh, what's that, 9 days? Is he going to? Is the Orange Twerp, by hook or by crook, going to go to the United Kingdom to meet with Prince William? Just understand also, the monarchy didn't invite him. He was invited by Keir Starmer. Not a fan of Keir Starmer. I'm actually shocked that he's lasted as long as he has. I got that he would be out as the leader fairly quickly. And we can do that. The ruling, the governance party, let me get that right, not ruling party. They do not rule, they govern. And they are not governing, they governance. So the governance party, that's how I'm feeling about this shift, chooses their leader. And they can choose to change their leader. Their leader is not elected. Okay, so is the Orange Twerp actually going to go? Let's have a look. How's that going to go for him? And it's in 9 days, and I suspect by hook or by crook, even if it's the last thing he does, he's going to try and go, because for him, it's this trying to fill the void moment. Is he going to go? Okay, so we've got the Two of Wands. It's not a given yet. They're still planning how to bring this about. It's not a given. Okay, see where it goes. Trying to work together. Okay, so the challenge is the working together. This is about the tariffs. This is about pandering to the twerp in regards to, because he doesn't, he rules. He rules. He does not governance. But 2 twos. So again, still in the planning here. The logistical planning, the emotional planning, still in the planning. It's also, you've got the health symbol here. So this could be planning in regards to his health as the challenge. The fluid, as you fluid build up when you and congestive heart failure, taking off and landing, incredibly dangerous. Yeah, so again, in the planning. The energy that they're stewing in at the moment is the celebration. Again, the orange, I'm just getting the orange twerp and his. Remember last time he literally took every single family member with him and forced every single family member onto the royal family? Right down to Tiffany and Baron. So this is about, celebrating, those around him celebrating, rejoicing, enjoying the prospect of going. Okay, in the past, it is all about soothing the orange twerp. Yep, pretty much. That's what it's about. However, the strength is Britannia. Britannia has the strength, the infinity symbol. The monarchy has been around for centuries, even in its current form for, what are we looking at, 10, oh gosh, I'm just trying to think what year it was, 1066 was it? That the modern monarchy with William the Conqueror started. So you're looking at what, nearly 500 years of the modern monarchy. Prior to that, there were the different areas with their own monarchs. Yeah, the infinity of Rule Britannia pulsating the orange twerp. Okay, let's see where it goes. Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors, illusion, delusion, sparkly, shiny things. That's the energy over it at the moment. But those that know that that's all it is. It's just an illusion of shiny, sparkly things. We know that. However, he and whoever's going with him are so excited. Oh, goodness me. The immediate future, a big rah, rah, rah announcement in regards to this coming from the White House. But, it's people are just walking away. It's seen now, interestingly enough, the dinner in the Rose Garden the other day of the so-called privileged GOP members. Gosh, that speech, 20-minute speech from the Orange Twerp that was like, what? It's like, really? It was just, crazy town. Marie Antoinette moment. Very much. Let them eat cake. They're out there celebrating this, but the people, the supporters, are walking away. It's let them eat cake. When the orange twerp, he's got his eyes glazed over with gold encrusted ballrooms and hosting dinners for, tech bros whose combined wealth is probably more than the national debt in the United States, and then the Carry On in the Rose Garden, etc. It's very much a Marie Antoinette let them eat cake moment. Living the life of luxury externally, but deaf to what is happening behind the wall. It's all about self luxury. However, internally, there might be a truth here about his health. There might be some recommendations that he rest up. Externally, it's all about glitz and glam and false baubles. But internally, his health is not good. Hopes and fears, the Lovers, contracts, agreements, higher authorities. Okay, let's see where this goes. The outcome, the Devil. You've got the same two couples here. Celebrated, powerful, but the reality is the UK are going to, it's going to be seen as an overindulgence, low vibration, it's a despicable energy. Going to be entrapped, find himself entrapped. Something here is going to, I'm not going to say it's legal entrapment. It feels very much swords of air, flying. Something about the flying is going to bring about a big announcement about his health and his declining health. They're going to try and keep a lid on it with that Queen of Cups, but his star, there's a truth coming out about his star, the reduction in his star. A decision will need to be made, or a decision is coming in regards to secrets being revealed, a lot of information coming out really quickly, and his demise. Now, I'm not saying this is his actual passing away, but just his ending. Okay, so I am getting by hook or it is, the taste of it is not going to go over well. As I said, it's let them eat cake when they can't afford bread. Marie Antoinette moment. But I don't think the flying is going to be very good for him. Let's have a quick look. Show me how's the flying going to... Well, they're trying to balance his fluids. The health professionals are going to struggle to balance his fluids. They're going to have to do some sort of drainage, I think is what I'm getting here, because you've got one figure reaching across, removing, taking fluids. The cup. How's his health going to go with... For those who are wondering how I shuffle, this is how I shuffle. Poker shuffle and then just overhand shuffle until my guides, they have a feel on the cards when it's enough. So how's his health going to go with this visit? The flying's going to be not good for him. Show me, what are we going, his health and the UK visit. He's going to do it no matter what, is what I'm getting, right? The celebration, something unexpected out of left field with his heart. Circles of support. This could also be those working on his fluids. Something's going to erupt here unexpectedly with his heart. justice actions will have consequences, and you'll see a really rapid decline here. You've got two lots of scales. Scales can mean balancing, but they can also mean actions and consequences. Divine justice, the truth of his actions, a decline, and oh God. Yep, and it's going to happen really fast. I'm just seeing what the next couple of cards are. Yeah, it's going to bring about something with his heart, where there's going to be a real rapid decline in his health brought out about it. He's not going to pass away from it, but it's almost like, if it's the last thing I ever do, I'm going to do this type scenario. Okay, let's have a look about the protests in the UK. Are they going to bring it? Yes, they are. How are the protests going to be in the UK? Then I'll move to the US with Chicago. How are the protests in 9 days' time going to be in the UK? I just see streets full, and good on the US people for your huge peaceful rallies over the weekend. Show me the protests in the UK. How are they going to go? Page of Cups. Something stinks in Denmark. Seven of Swords, trying to move them on. I think there's going to be the youth here. The youth are really going to bring something unexpected. The challenge is to move them on. I suspect the police will be out in force. The underlying energy is the Six of Cups, passing on the baton from the older generation to the younger generation, basically saying, you know what you need to do, is what I'm getting. You know what you need to do. In the past, we've got the higher authorities here. I bet there's going to be some sort of, do not be surprised if there is a ruling. I'm asking about the protest, so this is still in the future, because this is in the past as of the 9th, 7th of the 9th, 17th of the 9th, 17th of September. There may come a ruling out of the House of Commons, which is the place of the UK governance, some sort of saying, no protests, as if that's going to happen. Do not be surprised if there's some sort of ruling that comes out and says no protesting. Crowning the reading, the Ten of Pentacles. The legacy, the energy over this at the moment, the oligarchical money, the ending of an era. I think the youthful people, I think the youth here are going to bring it, as this old decrepit King of Pentacles. His time is done. This is end of cycle energy. Yeah, they're going to bring the protests, absolutely. Volatile information, volatile action, just waiting to be unleashed. The Two of Cups, externally, some sort of unbalanced contracts or agreements being overseen by the government. Okay, externally, internally, a peaceful offer, peaceful protests, hopes and fears being shut out. Do not be surprised if they close large sections of roads, so that the protesters can't get anywhere near the orange twerp while they have their glitzy glamoury thing going on. But the 2 knights won't be held back because it's a changing time and emotions are going to boil over. I think the youth are absolutely going to bring it, and I don't think they're going to be allow themselves to be shut out. I think the government's going to put through some sort of let me just say decree, because that's pretty much what it is. It's not governance of the people. It's putting out an order for the protesters or the rallies to be kept away. This agreement externally between the 2 countries I'm getting. The only pentacles is this card here. Oh, both of these. End of cycle and shut out. I still think the youth are going to get, the people in the UK are going to bring it, and heightened emotions here that are going to overflow. So expect some clashes. Try and stay peaceful, please. Entertainment only, but expect some clashes as now, just understand that the police are simply following their orders. I would not be surprised if the military's brought in as well, or there's a big US contingent that's brought in. Okay, on to, I smell deportations in the morning. Bastardization of a quote from Apocalypse Now. Horrible, horrible war movie. Bastardization of the quote of I smell napalm in the morning. Napalm was just horrific. It was a burning substance that was dropped onto the citizens and basically covered, stuck to them. It was just awful, awful, awful stuff. And the fact that, and it wasn't the orange twerp. The orange twerp, his untruth social, I suspect most of it isn't written by him. It actually makes sense and has full sentences and actually has grammar and punctuation, but also things like this meme. It may have got, oh, I like that, or makes me look so tough, but it's just ghastly, in regards to putting troops into Chicago. This is very publicly ordering the US military to start a war against US citizens. Highly, highly illegal. Using the Constitution as toilet paper, basically. Not even using it as a paper napkin, using it as toilet paper, shredding it up, flushing it away piece by piece. Okay, so, what did he say in the Rose Garden? Oh, a couple of little snippets to show that they're just pulling it all out of their backsides, making it up as they go along. The Tech Bro dinner. The Orange Twerp asked Zuckerberg, the old limp lettuce leaf with the curly top on, how much his Meta company would be looking at investing in tech and AI over the next few years, and Zuckerberg obviously was caught on the hop because he didn't have a figure. And I think he said, what was it, 60 billion or something along those lines by 2028. 60 billion by 2028. And then he got caught on a hot mic leaning over to the Orange Twerp saying, was that figure okay? In other words, pulled it out of his backside. Absolutely. Nothing to back it up. Load of BS. In the Rose Garden dinner for the select Republicans, the Orange Twerp is going, oh, there's going to be 17 trillion invested in whatever in the US over the next few months. 17 trillion. I'm sure if they had 17 trillion, they would be paying off the debt. So again, a pull it out of his backside moment figure means nothing. He does this. Now, also remembering that the jobs report that came out last month didn't like the jobs report, so sacked the guy that, or the girl, I think it was, that put the report together, sacked them. I don't like that. Well, the latest jobs report came out, the August jobs report, because that was the July jobs report. The August one came out even worse. That person must not like their job very much, I don't think. But yeah, the job figure's even worse. There's no denying it. He's just making it up as he goes along with what sounds best. Now, in regards to Mikey of the Little Johnson, coming up with 45 being an FBI informant, smells of desperation, doesn't smell like napalm or deportations, it smells like desperation. The only reason that the Orange Twerp blabbed on Epstein to the investigation officials was because they had had a falling out over a money laundering deal with the Russians, in that Epstein had lined up this money laundering deal. He asked Donnie his opinion on it. Donnie then swooped in and stole the deal, and Epps was furious. And Epps was about to lay bare on the Orange Twerp, so the Orange Twerp got in first. That's all it is the Orange Twerp getting in first. No honour amongst thieves, no loyalty amongst crims, obviously. So that FBI informant line, yeah, right, whatever, is again a load of BS. Right, now he's talking about troops into Chicago. Whose disappointment? Or there might simply be truth come out about the king's health and heart. His heart might give out before it happens. But there's a lot going on at the moment. Now, I'm sounding a bit hyped up. I do apologise. Stay in the grounding, calm. It's just, we've been saying, pardon me, we've been saying it for months and months and months and months, if not years, that things are going to get worse before they're going to get better. And we are right in this things getting worse stage before it comes to a culmination. So is he actually going to put, no, smoke and mirrors? I don't know that he's going to get them there. The inability to bring it about. On the defensive, this could be Chicago, or this could simply be Illinois. Is that Pritzker pushing back? And a big stick moment. And then we've, some sort of big stick moment that was we the people, but could also have been put in place by the Biden administration. Now, I have posted this multiple times in my post section, but you might have to go back a month or so. Sorry, I post so much there. This is some sort of new big stick action being taken that I think was put in place by the Biden administration. And it is very much about what happens, because the next card is the steal card. When the steal is proven, something about the election being stolen, it doesn't need to go far. It just needs to happen where there is proof beyond doubt of deliberate vote, flipping vote stealing. looking at you, Rockland, looking at you, is it North Carolina, looking at wherever else this information is coming from, that the military can take over. Now, yes, the 3 top generals had been replaced by the Orange Twerp, Hegseth, who is now the head of the Department of War, even though that has to go through Congress. Apparently they're already changing. This is what I'm saying. The Constitution means nothing because apparently all the stuff, websites, etc., are being changed to Department of War, even though it hasn't been approved by Congress. It was a decree, and therefore it's happening. Hegseth, yes, belongs to the Orange Twerp. Elbridge, who calls their kid Elbridge Colby? Yes, put there by Orange Twerp. 3 top generals, yes, put there by the Orange Twerp. But all those below, and I'm talking about the do not underestimate the warrant officers. Warrant officer in the Air Force, what's the equivalent? Sergeant majors in the Army. Do not underestimate the power that they have with the men. They are the leaders of the men, not these 3 generals at the top. But also between the sergeant majors and the warrant officers and whatever the Navy version is, and those 3 generals at the top, you have these whole echelons of commands of areas. Do not underestimate. So let's have a look. With this threat, I mean, he's come out clear as threatened to turn the military on the people of Chicago. And he is talking, he said Department of War, not Homeland Security, not ICE agents, not National Guard, the Department of War on the people of Chicago. So let's have a look. How is that going to play out? How is that going to play out? And that'll do me for today. How is that going to play out? How is that going to play out for this regime? Putting out there blatantly, turning the US military against US citizens. How's that going to play out? Whether it happens or not, the threat has been put out there. How's it going to play out? The Empress getting his orders from Russia. Now, there was a huge drone strike in Kiev last night, attacking government buildings. All the while, the US is dragging its heels about supplying the weaponry that has been approved and purchased. So, getting his orders from the Kremlin. The challenge is his health not making it long enough. I keep getting that, his health not making his, oh gosh, and there's that card on the bottom. We the people and the checks and balances put in by the Biden administration. Right. Volatile information coming out, a volatile declaration, but this horse isn't going anywhere. It's rearing up with this volatile announcement, but it's not going anywhere yet. So wants to unleash it, is desperate to unleash it, but it's not there yet. In the past, the lunacy, absolutely on full display. And again, this is lunar eclipses, 2 lunar eclipse cards in the deck, this and the 8 of Cups. The lunacy of this is on full display. The declaration of turning US troops on US citizens. The threat. Full display. The lunacy of the what was he, a lieutenant general or something that was, or lieutenant colonel in Apocalypse Now. All I remember it was a horrible, horrible movie. He was an absolute nutbag. Now, I know when I Googled it, was he insane? Came back, oh, well, not really, he was showing not to be. Oh my goodness, he was standing there with his shirt off, with his big hat, no cattle hat on, um, watching an attack happening in the distance. If this is my memory, I haven't seen the movie for decades, saying, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. If that wasn't insanity, I don't know what is. And it's on full display in the past. Crowning this reading, legal action being taken potentially, strategy, I'm just getting this legal action here. The light is being shone in regards to the path forward in regards to this. So I think there might be a legal proclamation here that will show a path out. Externally, we've got the plotting and planning, the dark money behind the scenes, how to bring it about. But internally, we've got some sort of balance here, the alchemy of the shining the light on the path forward with this legality. There's something here that's going to stop this in its tracks, I think, and here's that big stick. Now, someone mentioned, I just saw one comment, I don't watch Sterling. I think he's very astute. I think he's accurate. But I don't watch him. He puts out one a week and it goes for an hour. I mean, I could take the time, but, he gives the one sentence answers to questions. Whereas me, I'm wanting more meat on my bones. I've got it there, more meat on my bones. But he said, I believe from somebody in the comments, that Sterling said that this month will be the action being taken in the seizing of the government. Right, the outcome. So how's it going to go for the regime? I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. There's a lot of pronouncements here, but very little trickling through. It's waving the sword at windmills, basically. And there's a money trail or an election trail here about the abuse of power and the steal and the betrayal and treason. Those with money bringing about flipping of votes, maybe some information coming in from overseas, going to look at it really carefully, and you've got the best of democracy here. Just seeing what's on the bottom. It's a bit of a story on the bottom as well. Where did I put that convoluted card that I had from the very first reading? There is something, the lunacy is on full display, and I think what's going to happen is the orders have come from Russia. The lunacy is on full display, and I get that it's going to trigger that Ace of Wands. I didn't get the Chariot, didn't get the military card, but there's something here that is going to trigger action being taken. And I'm not talking about action of military into Chicago. I'm talking about action against the regime. I'm going to leave that there. We could talk for hours unraveling this, looking at the nitty-gritty, but I really got the feeling over the weekend that I know I shouldn't rub, that we are shifting into stepping away from the nitty-gritty to the big picture. It is time to look at the big picture, because the nitty-gritty will look after itself. Love to you all.